Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to this week's video. This week I used colored pencils to color these flowers in. They're Prismacolor. I have a 24 pack and I'll have a link to it on my blog. I also broke out my new Hero Arts Sizzix stamp and die set called Flowers and Butterflies. I'm using the flower stamp and I'm using some Stampin' Up! Craft. Well, it's called Crumb Cake ink now. And I just did that so I can kind of get a light image and see where I'm coloring. So I'm going to show you how I did these petals. At first, it's very similar to the Copic marker coloring, where I'm taking two different shades. Well, I have a pink and a red. So here's my pink, and I just do an all-over color. And then I'm going over the edges and the center, where the dark areas would be. And you can kind of see where the shading is on the stamp itself. And then I go back with that original pink color that I used, and I just color all over and blend those two colors together. And that's all there is to it, but it's pretty easy actually. And then I went in with a white gel pen and just created those little lines in there. So I'm going to show you how to do one more petal. Same technique, just an all over light pink color. And then back in with the red. Also, another thing I learned is Stampin' Up! Paper does not work very well with colored pencils. I just kind of found that out by accident, but the Nina Solar White cardstock works great, and I have a little bit more detail about that on my blog. Now I'm going to go in and color those centers. I'm going to use yellow and orange, so just it's kind of hard with my finger in the way there, but I did yellow in the middle and then orange all around the sides, and then I just colored back over it with yellow. And then I just took a white gel pen and just made some dots in the middle. I'm going to show you how to do one of the leaves. I'm just doing an all over green color. And then just one shade darker with green, and I'm just going to go over where I think the shadows would be from where the petal kind of comes in with the light and then underneath the leaf there. And once I get my darker areas in, then I go back in with my light color again and just kind of blend it all together. And on the leaf I went back and forth a little bit with the dark and the light just to get it the way I wanted it. Now when I used the white gel pen on this leaf, I did not like the way it came out. It just came out kind of scratchy. And so the nice thing about it is when you use your colored pencils over the gel pen, it just takes the gel pen right off. So I was able to take it off and redo it. And then you see I did it a little thicker there. So I went back in with the colored pencil and made it a little thinner. So now I've got the whole thing colored. I'm going to take my Sizzix die, and I'm using that Eclipse masking tape. It's kind of like a giant post-it to hold it in place to make sure it doesn't move when I create that sandwich and run it through my Big Shot. And it actually works out pretty well. Thought it cut it really well. Alright, I've got some So Saffron ink. You have to put a lot of pressure with these light colors to get a kind of a good rich color and some good coverage on your cardstock. I'm going to leave a little bit of white in the middle. And I'm going to take my So Saffron again, and I'm just going to continuously stamp this around the edges. So I'm going to leave that center blank. And now I've got my Hero Arts canvas stripe, and I put the So Saffron on that and used a baby wipe to kind of remove some of the ink on the edges so it wouldn't cover too much of my flowers. Now I'm going to take another piece of cardstock, and I'm using chipped sapphire distress ink, and I'm just going to put that all around the edges. I'm not too concerned about leaving the white in the middle. And then I'm going to take a Stampin' Up! Matte pack. It's like just a kind of a big foam square, and a paper piercer. And it also comes, the matte pack, with this ruler with holes in it so that you can line up all the holes and punch them straight through. And I'm punching them from the back to the front so that when I turn it over, I can take the sanding block and sand it down to show the white. And Jill Foster uses this technique quite a bit. This is such a cool little Sizzix pack. It's from Stampin' Up! And I slowed it down a little bit so you could see. It's got these 4 different dies in it, and they're great for sentiments on cards. So I used the little tag. There's a little hole in there. I'm going to end up putting linen thread through there. And I'm just going to color it the So Saffron yellow. And then I'm going to take some brushed corduroy distress ink and my fingertip sponge dauber, and I'm just going to ink the edges. And it has a little bit of a embossed sort of stitching on the edges that shows up nicer when you use the brown on the edge. So this stamp set is called Fabulous Phrases, and you can just basically make any kind of phrase that you want with all these different words. And I'm using my Stamp-A-Majig to stamp these two words together because I really want it to be exact. So I'm just trying to figure out what to do here. And I decided I wanted to kind of soften that edge between the yellow and the blue. And so I'm taking some brushed corduroy and just inking the edges there. Okay, now adhering the yellow piece. I'm going to put that linen thread through. And what I like to do first is adhere the sentiment. I'm just using some foam adhesive dimensionals by Stampin' Up! And put it down there. And I'm just kind of figuring out where to put the string in the middle so you can't see it. And then I just trim off the edges with scissor. And again, just foam dimensionals to put the flower on. And I'm going to adhere that to a piece of 5.5 by 4 1/4 folded cardstock. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I haven't really used colored pencils before, I think, in a video, so it was kind of nice to use something new. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.